Hey, it's Dennis. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're turning a MacBook into a full voice studio. Actually, wait. Before we go any further, I should tell you something. Everything you just heard was not me. That was an AI clone of my voice, and it was generated right here on my Mac. Completely offline from about 12 seconds of audio. Go ahead, scrub back, listen to it again. I'll wait. Now, until recently, voice cloning at this level meant paying ElevenLabs about $22 a month, and it meant uploading your voice, which is your biometric data, to someone else's server, which you have no control over. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the whole thing for free, completely locally on your own Mac. And make sure you stick around because later on, I'm going to put my own AI clone and one of the app's built-in voices into the same conversation and let the two of them interview each other. The app we're using today is called Voicebox. It's completely free and open source, which means that the code is public. Anyone can inspect it, and there's no catch hiding in the fine print. It's built by Jamie Pine, the same developer behind the Spacedrive file manager, and it's already been downloaded more than 1 million times. It runs on Mac, Windows, and Linux, but here's the best part that matters for us. On the Mac, it runs directly on Apple's graphics technology, which is called Metal. In plain English, this means that your M series chip is doing all of the AI work itself, and nothing ever gets into the cloud. That gives you 3 big wins over the paid tools. Number 1, privacy. Your voice never leaves your computer. Number 2, cost. There are no credits and no character limits. It can generate up to 50,000 characters in a single go. To put that into perspective, that's roughly a 40-minute audiobook chapter in one generation for free, where ElevenLabs would charge you for every single character. And thirdly, it works offline. So once your models are downloaded, this thing will happily run on a plane. Now, before we start, one important rule. Only clone voices you have permissions to use. That means your own voice, a client who has signed off on you using their voice, or a character that you own. Everything I'm cloning today is either my voice or my own channel content. So let's get this installed. I'll head over to voicebox.sh, hit the download button and grab the applesilicon version. From there, it's a classic Mac routine. Drag it into applications and open it. There's no terminal, no Python, and no dependencies to install. If you ever tried setting up other AI tools that had you copying commands into the terminal for about an hour, you'll appreciate how painless this is. The first time you open Voicebox, it asks you to download a text-to-speech engine. Think of the engine as the AI model that actually produces the voice. That is, the brains behind the operation. There are about 7 to choose from, but the one I want you to start with is called Qwen3 TTS because the official documents rank it as the best overall cloning quality for most common languages. And for anyone wondering about hardware, I'm running all these on an M3 Pro chip with 18 gigs of RAM. So now, let's create a voice. Click on Create Voice, and the first thing you see is that there are actually 2 ways to do this. There is a built-in voice option. Voicebox ships with over 50 ready-made voices. You can just pick from a catalog. There's no recording, no uploading, nothing to prepare. You can choose a voice, give the profile a name, and then click on Save. If you're not comfortable recording yourself yet, or you just need a clean narrator voice for a project right now, this might be a friend. And remember this option because 9 of these built-in voices have a special ability that we'll be coming back to in a few minutes. But the real magic, and the reason you clicked on this video, is the other option, Clone from Audio. That's the one we're using today. Inside Clone from Audio, there are 3 ways to give Voicebox a sample of the voice you want. You can upload an audio file, you can record straight from your microphone, or, and this is a sleeper feature, you can capture whatever audio is currently playing on your Mac. Keep this last one in mind because we're coming back to it later. So I'm going to record about 12 seconds of my own voice. Quick tip here, it's important to speak naturally, like you're talking to a friend, not like you're reading a script, because whatever energy you put into the sample is the energy your clone will have. Hey, it's Dennis. I make videos about running AI locally on Mac. No cloud, no subscriptions, just your Mac doing things Apple never advertised. If this recording sounds like me talking to a friend, that's the point. So now, do you notice something? I never typed anything inside the reference text box. Voicebox automatically transcribed my sample using Whisper, which is a speech recognition model that also runs locally on your Mac. All that's left is to give the voice a name. I'll call mine Dennis Studio. I would like the default engine to be Qwen3 TTS, so I'll select that as well, and then I'll click on Create Profile. Believe it or not, that's the entire cloning process. Now, the website says it can clone from as little as 3 seconds of audio, but the official documentation recommends 10 to 30 seconds of clear speech, and it warns that anything under 5 seconds gives poor results, which is why I recorded around 15 seconds. Now, for the fun part. I'll type a sentence, choose a clone voice, and then hit generate. This sentence has never been spoken by me. My Mac is saying it right now, and it learned how from 12 seconds of audio. So I think that's somewhat impressive. Not the best, but let me play it back again. This sentence has never been spoken by me. My Mac is saying it right now, and it learned how from 12 seconds of audio. Now, some little tonation issues, but other than that, I think that's solid. Now, you may ask, how do you shape the performance of a clone voice? I went through the official documentation, and the models read the formatting as acting notes. So words in all caps come out louder and more emphasized, and punctuation also controls the pacing. Let me show you the same idea in two ways. I'm going to use the same Dennis Studio voice, but I'll punctuate the sentences differently. This is the normal sentence we're going to generate, and here how this comes out. That was amazing. I did not expect it to work. So I'm going to play that again so that we can hear. That was amazing. I did not expect it to work. Now, number two, I'm going to use the same sentence, but I'll structure it differently. So for this sentence, as you can see, we have the word amazing in caps, and that sentence ends in an exclamation mark. We also have the word not in caps. Let's see how it does this. That was amazing. I did not expect it to work. So there is somewhat of a difference. It's actually reading the capitalized amazing as amazing. I'll repeat that so that you can listen to that. That was amazing. I did not expect it to work. So let's compare the first one. That was amazing. I did not expect it to work. I can tell there's a slight difference. You have to test this out to hear, or rather just see the results for yourself and see if that works. So now another trick for us to keep in mind. If a text sounds slightly off, don't bother rewriting your text. Just hit regenerate. Every generation comes out a little bit different, exactly like text in a real recording session. So you just keep the one you like best. Now, there's one more level of control, which is full plain English directing, where you literally type things like whisper, intimate and close, and the voice obeys. But here's the honest catch. That feature, called delivery instructions, only works on the 9 built-in Qwen custom voice speakers I showed you earlier, not on clone voices. Let me show you what it can do anyway, because for narration work, it's seriously impressive. To demonstrate this, I'll start by creating the voice. So I'll go to create voice. Under built-in voice, I'll choose Ryan. I'll just name him Ryan English. And if you note, I can't change the default engine because these are pre-selected voice which has its own engine. I'll create the profile and I'll just choose this. What you note is the minute I select Ryan, down here, this pops up. So we can insert the text that we want to generate as well as the delivery instructions. So I'm going to add a sentence and delivery instructions. So above is our sentence and below are our delivery instructions. I want this to be calm, warm, late night radio host in a slow pace. Now I'm just going to hit generate.
The model just finished downloading. And what happens next changes everything.
So I think as per our delivery instructions, that is solid. That was warm, that was calm, and it sounded like a late night radio host. I'm going to use the same sentence, but a different set of delivery instructions. Here's our new set of instructions. The sentence is the same, but our delivery instructions have changed. Let's listen to what it does.
The model just finished downloading, and what happens next changes everything.
So you can hear the difference. I'm going to play them back to back. So this is our first one, the one that was calm, and that was our radio host.
The model just finished downloading. And what happens next changes everything.
So you can hear that. The one with our first commentary.
The model just finished downloading, and what happens next changes everything.
So that's pretty solid. That was the same text, same speaker, but two different performances. So you're basically directing an actor in plain English. Here, the trade-off is simple. Clone your own voice and steer it with formatting and text, or use a built-in custom voice speaker and get full director mode. For a narration project where the voice doesn't have to be you, that second option is a genuine ElevenLabs replacement. And when you're happy with a take, just choose export. You get a clean standard audio file that drops straight in whatever editor you use. Remember that third option I told you to keep in mind. Here's where it gets interesting. System audio capture lets you clone a voice from anything that's playing on your Mac. Whether it's a podcast, a video, a voice memo, anything. So I'm going to open one of my videos from maybe a couple of years back. Try to capture around 10 seconds of that while it plays, and then I'll save it. And just like that, I have two voices saved. I have past Dennis and I have Dennis Studio, which is current Dennis, and I have permission to use both of them since they are me. This is the conversation I promised you at the start. My clone on one side and Ryan, one of the built-in voices, on the other. This is a stories editor, and it works a lot like a video editing timeline, except every track is a voice. You write lines for each speaker, arrange them as clips, trim them, and then play the whole conversation back as one piece. That means two-person podcast intros, dialogue for a game, or an audiobook where every chapter actually sounds different, all generated locally on your Mac. And if you ever paid a freelancer just to voice a second character in an intro skit, that expense is now gone.
Let me get this straight. You cloned your voice on a laptop, offline, for free?
12 seconds of audio, that's all it took.
And what does that make me exactly?
You're Ryan, you came with the app. So there we have the conversation. So what I want you to note is you can change the timing of this. You can move this to another track. You can trim, you can add, or rather you can trim the end just like that. And this is a full-blown conversation created locally on your Mac. So earlier I mentioned there are about 7 different engines. So let me quickly show you why you'd ever switch between them. I'll generate the same exact sentence on 3 engines so that you can hear the difference for yourself. Right, so the top 3 that we have here are the same sentence but testing out 3 different engines. The first one is Qwen 1.7b, and to be honest, it didn't give me the best results, so I think I prefer the other 2, whichever is best between the 2, and I just want to play this out for you, listen, and you'll be the judge once you hear it, and you can test this out on your own.
Local first, cloud never. That's the whole philosophy.
I don't like that too much because the tonation is a bit off, yet I gave it the same sentence as the others. Let's listen to Qwen3 TTS.
Local first, cloud never. That's the whole philosophy.
Yeah, I think that's somewhat better, but the voice is not me. It's more Western. So the last one is Chatterbox Turbo, and I think I much prefer this one, but let's listen.
Local first, cloud never. That's the whole philosophy.
That tonation is good, but that also sounds so Western-ish, if I may say. So Qwen gets my voice, but the tonation and the sentence structure is something that can be worked on. So Qwen3 is your all-rounder, best overall cloning quality with about 10 languages. Qwen3 TTS is quite fast, sort of like a speed demon. Now, it's English only, but it's quite fast and also runs on older Macs without powerful chips. Lastly, Chatterbox. Chatterbox Turbo has a party trick. It's the one engine that understands tags like laugh or sigh, typed in square brackets right inside the text. The voice actually performs them. In fact, with Turbo selected, you can just type a / in the text box and a little tag menu pops up. Two more worth knowing about. If you need languages beyond Qwen's 10, Swahili, Arabic, Hindi, and more, Chatterbox Multilingual covers 23 languages. And if you're generating really long audio like full audiobook chapters, there's an engine called Tada that's built specifically for long form. Now, before we wrap up, there are two more features tucked away in here, and honestly, either one of them could have been a standalone paid app. Feature number one is transcription. It lives in a tab called Captures. You can record a voice memo directly in the app or drop in an audio file. It takes WAV, MP3, M4A, and more. And Voicebox gives you a full transcript processed entirely on your Mac. Every capture keeps its original audio, and if the transcript isn't perfect, you can rerun it with a bigger, more accurate whisper model. Oh, and one more trick. You can take any capture, play it back through one of the cloned voices in a single click. The second feature is called system-wide dictation. You hold on to a hotkey anywhere in your Mac, in any app, speak and release, and your words land as text right in whatever field you had selected. It can even clean up your rambling automatically using a small local AI model before it types. And because it's all the same local speech recognition, nothing you say ever leaves your machine. So to demonstrate this, I'll open TextEdit, create a new document, and I'm going to dictate a word here. This entire paragraph was typed by my voice offline without touching the keyboard. And voila, everything I just dictated is right here in TextEdit. Now, to enable this, you'll need to go to the settings, and under captures, you'll need to enable dictation as well as the global shortcut if that is not enabled. So now, I'm going to leave you with some quick tips for better clones. Number one, a clean sample in means a clean voice out. So record in a quiet room with no music or overlapping voices. Number two, aim for about 10 to 30 seconds of sample audio. And if you want even a more robust clone, the documentation suggests adding multiple samples of the same speaker in different moods. Number three, match the energy. If you want an excited clone, record an excited sample. Number four, punctuation is direction. Commas and full stops genuinely change the pacing. So punctuate the way you want it to read. If you're into running AI locally on your Mac, that is genuinely all this channel is about. The LM Studio playlist is on your screen right now. Subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Or was it me this whole time? Subscribe and find out.